that Jiesha has the Shaman and Xichen has the Warrior. Otherwise, the Paladin and the Druid are the same. Paladin and Druid are pretty high tier classes. Well, yeah, high tier classes, high tier decks, same thing. I mean, Druid has a pretty standardized list of just combo Druid. I mean, you can play Ramp Druid, but it's not quite as good. Whereas Paladin, there's so many decks that are really good in the meta right now. So it's going to come down to basically, can Shaman steal a win, essentially? Because otherwise, Xichen's lineup is basically superior. Do I have this on? Yeah, I have this on normal, so this is the lowest quality possible, unfortunately. Gonna have to have our own potato quality here, unfortunately. But yeah, we have coin knife juggler, into knife juggler, into knife juggler, into maybe knife juggler. Could be a thing. We could have 4 knife jugglers now. Okay, looks like he's gonna play on curve and gonna what? No, okay, gonna play with the Silver Hand Regent. Chinese players do favor this card in their token paladins. I'm actually going to just refresh really quick, just in case that helps. Just had to take one more look at her before we continue. Maybe if I set this back, it'll help. Maybe, I'm not sure. Probably not. Actually, it might make a difference because maybe it's translating all of the things into English and it's taking time. Could be the case. Anyway, we have Coghammer into the hand of Jiesha. He actually is running Divine Favor, which is a bit odd. This could actually be Aggro Paladin. Yeah, it could definitely be Aggro Paladin. All of the cards in his hand do fit the Aggro Paladin mold, essentially. Even though thus far we've seen all the cards he's played have been consistent with Control Paladin as well. But yeah, the Coghammer is pretty huge there. Gets a really good trade off from the side of Xichen. He doesn't really care about this knife. It's pretty inconsequential. He just wants to do it in the right order. Just might as well get the knife off. And yeah, so plays the knife juggler into. Shielding Mini Bot needs to kind of contest this board as much as possible. You can't really play hero power here. And in all honesty, Xichen's hand is pretty horrible. Okay, I guess we have the comments on top, which we don't want. So yeah, Xichen's hand is pretty bad. On the side of Jiesha, we have, let's see. Okay, this is, I mean, the double most rebel is okay. It's kind of his only play, I suppose. He doesn't have any use for his Divine Favor, unfortunately, but otherwise his hand is pretty much better than Xichen. Unlucky knives on the side. Well, it was a 50-50 on the side of Jiesha there. Xichen picks up the Murloc Knight, as we saw when it skipped. And we're going to see the Hammer of Wrath to be able to take this guy out, and then followed by the Argent Squire. Makes sense to go that route instead of playing the second Muster for Battle. You don't really want to get wrecked by Consecration, and this board is big enough that would probably get consecrated. Picks up the anti-kill ball. Probably just going to play that out. You're not going to have time to play 5 mana worth of stuff anyway later on, and it was either that or hero power. With that heal bot though, it helps them a lot, because one of the problems with playing Dogs or Boom out in this situation is that you don't have time really to get back onto the board because you're falling so far down in health. But there's not that much power on the side of Jiesha, and obviously Xichen's back at 28, so that helps a lot. And yeah, I mean, with all these 1/1s, there is 7 power on the board plus the Light's Justice, but still, this Dr. Boom's going to contest the board, and then the following turn, the Tyrion's going to contest the board. Even if it gets owled, it's still, you know, a big 6/6, and then he has Lay on Hands. So actually, Xichen is in a really good spot. Oh, that quality changes a lot of things, though. I imagine he uses it now because he has that owl in hand. If ever there's a big taunt, he can just owl it anyway. So yeah, it looks like Xichen was getting back into the game, but with that quality top deck and the owl in hand, it looks like excuse me, Jiesha is in still a pretty good position. Looks like he's thinking about what to. I would not attack it till the end. I would actually attack everything to face, and then except for 2 of his guys. Or if you know that it's gonna go 1 to face, I guess that's pretty good. I guess you don't really need to worry about that. But yeah, he should have attacked all but 2 to face. Excuse me, all but 2 to face, and then 1 goes into Dr. Boom, and then 1 goes into the Boom Bot. I don't know why it's skipping backwards, sorry. And then you hit your face into the last one, is basically what you do. But it looks like he's gonna go with this. Oh, the top deck content is really good. It sucks that you can't play Tyrion right here, but I mean, this Consecrate is just too good. Tyrion blocks 7 damage. This Consecrate gets rid of 6 damage and kills 2 Divine Shield, which is pretty good. I don't imagine he'll be using his owl. He could use an owl just to get something onto the board. That might be all he's thinking about. Obviously you don't play Lay on Hands here. It's too slow and you need to get something on the board. You can play Lay on Hands later. And Lay on Hands would hurt you as far as your opponent's Divine Favor is concerned. But yeah, Tyrion, I guess Tyrion could be okay. The nice thing about Tyrion is he has to actually throw away one of his 1/1s before he even does that. So yeah, anyways, he's gonna go with the Consecrate here. Gonna play the Owl as well and play a Dude. So now he technically has a bigger board, even though his opponent can kind of just kill it with his face. And this helps a lot also for Divine Favor reasons. And let's say Jiesha plays out the Owl here to get more cards. Oh, he's actually going to play the Owl out and get more. Ooh, that's really scary though. I think that Owl is too valuable. You really need that Owl for Tyrion, yeah? You might as well just grab your 3 cards and save that Owl, because that Owl is really, really important for the future. That might have actually been the difference in the game. I don't want to say it won in the game, because it's pretty obvious play. In my opinion, you pretty much always keep the Owl there. Because it sounds like it was just an amazing play, right? But that might be the difference in the game, him keeping that Owl there, because otherwise it would have been really, really hard for him to deal with that Tyrion. And again, I don't know why it keeps rewinding back, but in any case, I imagine we're going to see Tyrion Banana. It's just, I mean, I guess he could go Dude, Quartermaster, Double Banana, but that's kind of strange. Yeah. Okay, it's not going to Banana. Interesting. I guess he figures that his opponent's drawn enough cards. He probably has the Owl. Yeah, he's going to take a lot of damage to face. He's going to take a total of... I don't know why I keep skipping back. That's so bizarre to me. And then it skips back and then it skips forward. That's so weird. Anyway, it's going to take a total of 11 damage there. And picks up the Muster for the Muster battle, but I don't really want to see. This is so bizarre. I don't know what's going on with WTV today. Picks up the Equality, doesn't do a whole lot. Probably just Dude and then kill the Mooclaw, honestly. I don't see any reason for bananaing your Tyrion. Yeah, just make a Dude, kill the 5/5. And then the following turn, you can... what can you do? You could, like, throw away your Tyrion and your 1/1, and then Quartermaster, and then Coghammer. Anyway, so from the side of Jiesha, he's going to Consecrate. I don't believe that's lethal, is it? No, he's 2 off, I think, yeah. He's 2 off lethal. Going to hit face here. So unfortunately, on the side of... Xichen, he can't Muster Rebel, Quartermaster, and then Coghammer. His Quartermaster has the most health, so I imagine he's just gonna play that out and then give it a couple of bananas and then Coghammer. Yeah, or either way, either way doesn't matter. Just double banana and then Coghammer and then go face, I believe. And then the following turn he can double Chew Silver. Okay, he's gonna kill the 1/1, it looks like. So 4/7. Is there any way to kill it on the board? I guess if he didn't kill the 1/1, he'd be dead. But yeah, with that Blessing of Might, is that lethal? Hits it with that, and then hits it for 5. Yeah, it's gonna be lethal. So Jiesha's gonna be able to get through this very healthy, this very bananaed Quartermaster and get through for the win. It's going to be 1-0 for Jiesha. Sorry again for the skipping back and forth. Again, nothing really that I can do about that. The connection with the China server kind of bizarre at the moment. So, yep, 1-0 to Jiesha. His paladin has graduated, as I like to say. Don't like to say that it's been eliminated. So, yeah, he is one with that deck. And now we're down to Shaman and Druid. And we might see him choose the Shaman to kind of snipe off a win from Xichen. And I wonder if Xichen kind of anticipates that and plays something. Maybe he plays his Paladin again just to kind of get the win against the Shaman. Actually, I imagine that Xichen's going to go with the Paladin regardless. Because Paladin's pretty good against the 2 remaining decks of Jiesha anyway. And if that's the case, maybe we see Jiesha go for the Druid if he anticipates that. On the side of Xichen, what else could you go with? Druid is okay. It's not the best against Shaman, even though Shaman is typically pretty weak. It's still like okay against Druid. If it's Mech Shaman, it's pretty good against Druid. And Warrior, if it's Patron, it's like a 50-50 versus Druid, and it's actually mid-range Shaman is decent against Control Warrior, and even Patron Warrior can be pretty annoying. Obviously, you have the OTK potential from Control or from Patron Warrior, but having to deal with the totems is actually pretty annoying for Patron Warrior because you can't just roll them away like you can with dudes when they're playing Paladin, for instance. So, I mean, I haven't played too much Patron versus Shaman, but I've always had a little bit of trouble with it, whereas I can pretty much navigate other matchups more easily, although it could be the case that Patron, since Shaman isn't played that much, that's where some of the problems arise. In any case, I guess we're waiting for this game to start. I guess I can just look at chat for a bit while we're sitting here. I guess you can listen to them for a second while I look at the chat.
哎，飞过王，夕尘残枫，正在查看啊，马上开朗。这样。哎呦，
他会不会上奴隶战啊？
谁啊？西城。
对啊。
你要上奴隶战，你刚才首发就应该上啊！你现在上会不会不理智啊？我觉得现在就应该继续算圣骑吧。
有上圣骑吧？
因为看起来似乎圣骑是打萨满跟那个登陆一都挺好打。
It looks like we're getting to the game. We saw them sigh for a bit there, so maybe they're having issues as well. So let's see what deck they choose. Yep, it's going to be the Shaman versus the Paladin, like I kind of suspected. Jiesha wanting to snipe that win, and Xichen, I don't know if he didn't think about it, just went with the Paladin, but it makes sense to go with the Paladin here. It's strong against the remaining decks of Jiesha. That's probably why he picked Paladin in the first place. He reasoned it was going to be either a mirror or he's going to go against a good matchup. This is not the greatest hand. Aldor can be okay. We see that the Shaman is a Mech Shaman, so pretty risky. I'm gonna go ahead and coin into that Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Whoa, do you see that? I didn't know that Whirling Zap-O-Matic had like lasers on it. I have never seen a golden. Have I seen a golden Whirling Zap-O-Matic? Maybe I didn't notice it earlier when I saw it before, but that is crazy. with the lasers on. Oh my god! And we actually have a rag into the Mech Shaman. This is kind of an older list. Well, kind of an older list. It's kind of an in-between old list. We've seen decks, or we saw the Shaman list that started with, you know, the usual suspects and a lot of just burst. But then we saw in the middle there people kind of putting bigger minions like Dr. Boom and Rag. And then after a while it kind of went back to the original Shaman, which played a much smaller curve and more burn essentially. So Xichen, as you can see there, it's been pretty standard so far. Xichen had nothing else to do but to Aldor on that turn, and it does relieve a lot of damage, 4 per turn to be precise, obviously. And then we had the clear from Jiesha. Unfortunately, Jiesha has nothing to do here except for totem up, which really, really sucks, obviously. It's gonna actually hit the face without... Oh. Okay, well that helps a lot. Okay, he didn't pick up a mech, obviously, but obviously he had 2 in the field, so wins the 50-50 and gets the Whirling Zaphomatic back up to 3 again, but back down he goes. He's really going to be following the rules, but he is on 3 health, so it gets annoying to kill, and it's kind of like a Super Dragon Hawk, or whatever it's called. Not Dragon Hawk Rider, what is it? The 1-1 with Wind Fury. I can't remember names. I'm getting confused with the new 3-3 that has Wind Fury when you hero power, so yeah, things are getting crazy. Any case, it was kind of a fast start for Jiesha, but nothing much to do since then. He's gonna have to just play out his play out a totem and then get the spider tank out there. On the side of Xichen, what does he do here? He actually has a ton of options. He could go for the Mustafa battle, knowing that his opponent doesn't have any lightning storms most likely, and then switch straight. Yeah, he's gonna switch straight into the Cog Hammer. And he gets the roll onto the Aldor. He might have actually, it might have been actually potentially better to go the opposite direction and swing with the the Cog Hammer first to guarantee the taunt onto the Aldor. But I guess he was going to kill. No, I guess it makes sense because he was going to kill the 3-3, the 1-3 regardless. So maybe he was actually sad that happened, and he wanted to get the 1-1 with taunt to be more annoying. In any case, he's going to be able to get a nice Quartermaster off here. 2 of them can run into this Fire Elemental, and then 1 into the Spider Tank and use his face. And decent clear, but he's down to 9 health, which means that Jiesha can just Doomhammer the face a couple times, throw an Annoytron up. And Xichen actually has to... Well, he does have a good answer, actually, surprisingly enough. He has the True Silver and the Defender of Argus to get in the way. He has to be a little bit afraid of Lava Burst right now, so I imagine that's the play. It's not even that bad of a play as far as developing your board anyway. So yeah, I imagine he's going to be just going Defender, run 2 guys, and don't even take the 1 damage. Don't want to die to some random Crackle draw. So you're going to run both in. Gonna use his face on that totem to prevent any Flame Tongue shenanigans. And does Xichen have a chance to win this game? He's obviously taking a lot of damage, but he's healing back up. And Loathing comes into the hand. Not too useful at the moment, though it will stop a spell. It's the biggest thing you can get on the board. Maybe better to use that than go Shredder and Totem. Just gonna get a big guy onto the field. Gonna face tank 8 damage. Interesting. I guess he figures he needs to win this game pretty quickly, and Paladin doesn't actually have damage to use anyway, so it makes a bit of sense. And yeah, he can't. Yeah, if he gets rid of one of the taunts, then on the board, the only way for Xichen to deal with this taunt is to use either his taunt or his face, which means that he would die either way. Oh, and he gets 2 knife juggles. Can he get 3? He gets 3 knife juggles! Oh my god, he needed all 3 of those knife juggles to hit in order for him not to die to the lava burst. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, that just happened. Are we gonna see? We can't even see a yellow rag because it doesn't even kill him. And is there lethal on board? Hold on, 10, 11, 12. There's lethal on board. So, unless he rolls a taunt totem, he needs to actually... Okay, yeah, he can't play Dr. Boom because he's dead on board, so he needs to rag. And he actually wants to hit a minion, surprisingly enough. And I guess we rewinded back in time again. And he kills that, which means... Wait, why didn't he swing? He has 4 swings? Oh, wait. What am I talking about? It's after the end of the turn. I'm an idiot. And we have Lay on Hands, actually. And he has 10 mana. So he can... Wait. Maybe... I guess you Lay on Hands first? You could also hero power and get lethal, I think, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, he can if you roll old Murkai, you get lethal. If you rolled War Leader, you get lethal as well. Looks like he's probably gonna go for the maybe not though. Maybe he just hero powers here because Rag is not gonna kill him anyway, regardless. I guess Jiesha could go. What if he goes 4 to face and that's 12, and then he yeah, he actually have exact lethal if his Rag hits face, and that might be the play, honestly. Or maybe Xichen just draws lethal right here with the old Murkai. Just kidding. Oh my god. Wow. So many things had to happen that game for him to win. Oh my god. Although I guess going back to Knife Juggler... No, even if he had... Because he went up to 9, right? Yeah, it didn't matter. If he used his face on Lotheb, he would have taken 3... What if he used his face on Lotheb? He would have 9 down to... Yeah, it didn't matter. Yeah, so definitely he needed those Knife Jugglers earlier. And then he got the old Murkai. That is absolutely insane. Well then, okay. That's interesting. So it looks like we're going into a Druid versus Druid mirror. They both have Wild Growth, so apparently they're both very, very good at Hearthstone. Xichen's going to elect not to coin Innervate because, or I guess he doesn't want to, not coin Innervate. He doesn't want to coin Wild Growth because he doesn't want to Innervate into that Sludge Belcher, because that gives him no other turn. Although he could have gone, well, no, he didn't have the coin for the Drew of the Claw there. So on 4 mana, I'm just looking at Xichen's side because on the side of Jiesha, it's just boring. He has nothing, or not boring. It's just sad. He has nothing to do. Gonna go ahead and hero power rather than play out the Temple Keeper, because the Keeper can be pretty useful later. Wild Growth pickup for Xichen, but I imagine he's not going to use it. Going to go... Oh, he's going to actually just coin Innervate into Lore, which makes a bit of sense. You do kind of want to have some removal tools, I suppose, in your hand. Oh, that Doomsayer. Okay. Xichen always runs Doomsayer in his Druid for some reason. He ran it in the China vs. America Championships as well, and it's just like... It's such a dead card right here. Like, I don't get it. Oh my god. It's so bad right now. Anyway. So, yeah. Probably going to be seeing either the Druid of the Claw in taunt form or the Sludge Belcher. Either kind of works. Forcing your opponent to use 2 mana the following turn. If you play Sludge Belcher is fine. Obviously, if he plays the Druid of the Claw, it can get keepered. But that's 4 mana as well. And the problem is he doesn't have any like Wrath or anything. I guess he could use, well, not really. I guess he could just Shade and then hit the guy in hero power, but that's kind of weak as well. But I guess he's kind of okay with it because it takes 2 mana to clear the 5/1 anyway, and so his Shade will maybe contest the next thing. We can also honestly see Sylvanas out of Jiesha right here to kind of contest this board. Maybe even Sylvanas Innervate hero power, but I think you've taken so little damage, or -1 to be precise, that you might just Sylvanas here. Just because your opponent obviously can't trade into it. But if he has Keeper, it's really, really bad, because he has a really good way to... Yeah, this is just playing around Keeper, essentially. If your opponent has Keeper, it's a disaster. You paid 6 mana to be traded into by a guy who is basically dead on the field, and your opponent used 4 mana, but still, it's just really, you're way behind tempo in that situation. So, makes sense. If Xichen plays Sylvanas here, then... Yeah, if Xichen plays Sylvanas here, then Jiesha would steal, and then Xichen would steal back. But again, if if Jiesha has Keeper, it's kind of a disaster because he takes the Shade. Although the Shade doesn't grow for another turn, so it actually stays at 3/3 for like 2 more turns, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it would be kind of bad in that situation. Looks like he's gonna go for it anyway. And I think I'm right. I think I'm correct, right? we're probably going to see the keeper here. So yeah, it's going to be keeper, going to run into it, and it's going to stay at 3-3, I believe. I think it's worth it to take the shade, because taking a shade is a 6-6 difference in value, and obviously, like, not being able to get out the ancient lore is not that great. But you're losing a 5-5, but you're gaining 6 overall, essentially. Yeah, so I think it goes to this one side, and yeah, see, it's a 3-3, which is kind of sad. The shade's never gonna grow. All it wanted to do was grow, guys. It got played like 2.5, 3 turns ago, and it won't grow. Or yeah, 3 turns ago, but it's only grown to a 3-3. Any case, Xichen's not in the worst position quite yet. He's gonna actually kill off the keeper and then play this Doomstar, which I guess is gonna get a little bit of value right here. Yeah, that's actually pretty annoying. But what do you do if you're... This is actually such a weird Doomsday. It's actually kind of useful right now. I guess if you play it in your deck enough, you find spots to use it. But yeah, you could obviously Wrath. On 8 mana, it's really annoying. On 9 mana, it would be so much easier. You could just lore here and then Wrath it. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Darnassus and Wrath. But then you leave the 4-2 on the board. How annoying this is. So Xichen just knows how to use this Doomsayer for maximum annoyance. And actually this 4-2 is going to be able to trade into the 4-4. Oh, he's going to Wrath for 1? Why did he play the Darnassus first then? Okay, yeah, and it's fine. The sequencing, or the order was a little bit bad, but using the Savage Roar there for clearing is, it makes sense. Xichen immediately reaches for the swipe to get rid of the shade, which probably is going to lead to a keeper onto this Darnassus. I imagine nothing else really to do. Kind of rather develop your keeper, unless you suspect he's playing Ancient War, which he could, considering there's a Cenarius in hand right now. But yeah, gonna be Cenarius, and getting the keeper on the board actually helped a lot here, because now you can clear one of these 2-2s. All these 5-5, all these 5 drops in hand, not really doing me any favors. Probably gonna be a Wrath for 1 and a Hero Power. If you're gonna remove a minion, you might as well remove it and draw a card. I wonder if he Wraths for 1 again. It could be the case. Yeah, he might save the Wrath. It looks like he's gonna save the Wrath for utility as 3 power. He does have that Wild Growth for more draw, but I imagine he'd probably go for the 2 5 drops next turn for maximum power onto the board. Well, maybe. Depends on if he wants to deal with the Cenarius. From Jiesha, how much damage is he facing? He's facing 24 damage if his opponent has combo. If he uses his hero power to get rid of it, he goes down to 20, and his opponent will only have 18. So he can pretty safely go Ancient Allure into hero power, clear. Oh, he's just going to swipe it? Interesting. Looks like he's going to swipe it, clear it, which this makes sense. I mean, Druid cannot deal with a 5-8. It's like impossible. So, and he's already seen a Sylvanas from his opponent, so it's fine to play out this keeper. It's nice to clear opponent's board, essentially. It doesn't allow them to use things like Savage Roar. This is pretty reasonable. And in response, Xichen goes, well, if you have a lot of power on the board, I might as well put the most power that I can put on the board. And unfortunately, that Belcher gets really, really crushed by the board of Jiesha, but nothing really that you can do. After this scenario, the Texan is going to be at 5 health, which means you can swipe and Wrath for 1, which I imagine we'll see Xichen doing the following turn. He's going to actually force... Okay, that's... I guess he just wants to keep the most health on the board, but he's only taking 1 damage from his keeper. I mean, this board is kind of annoying to deal with, but you know what would be more annoying to deal with is having a lore on the board. He would die to Harrison... he would die to combo if his opponent had combo Innervate Hero Power, but honestly, how likely is that? How likely is your opponent to have combo Innervate Hero Power? Although I guess he's a little bit afraid of the Harrison contesting his scenarios, which is a bit of an issue. Just wants to get the full value of the snares, I suppose. So I guess that makes a bit of sense. Xichen's going for the play that I mentioned a couple turns ago. Unfortunately, yeah, his keeper doesn't really do anything anyway. It does get a body onto the board, but he's decided he wants to kind of draw cards right now anyway. That shredder's a little bit late. But yeah, Xichen's gonna be in a pretty rough spot. Looks like he's gonna hit the keeper. He's seen one part of the combo. He's in two parts of the combo actually. So he can keeper that next turn and maybe have the ability to hero power something else next turn. From Jiesha, I can't imagine anything really. This is so bizarre. Okay, I guess it makes a little bit of sense because he's threatening lethal. But just play the lore when your opponent has nothing on board. I think he's overthinking this, honestly. This could actually come back to bite him, and actually, Xichen has lethal if Jiesha doesn't clear his board. I honestly can't. I don't understand why you just don't play the lore there. Like, yes, okay, actually, well, he has lethal now, so I guess it doesn't matter. But like, yeah, his opponent has a harder time usually dealing with your shade, and you can kind of like push for damage. But if you have lore, you have so many more options anyway. And if you wanted to, you could push for damage anyway, because you can't deal with your lore regardless. So I guess it doesn't matter. Jiesha's going to take it, and it's going to be 2-1 in favor of Jiesha. And Jiesha is left with his shaman. And for Xichen, he has the warrior, which we haven't seen yet, and the druid. Gonna go with that warrior. And we're going to see what kind it is. Going to be patron warrior, which I think we've seen every single player in this tournament play patron warrior, and I would have to agree with that sentiment. If I was going to play warrior, I would play patron warrior as well. We saw dragon warrior kind of surface for a bit, as well as, you know, control warrior kind of making a comeback, but I think patron warrior is just better. There's certain things like patron, like dragon warrior and control warrior are good against patron warrior, but that's it. That's like pretty much the one matchup where that control warrior is better at. Maybe handlock as well, but then control warrior isn't really even favored against handlock anyway, so there's no real point. In any case, we do see the Fire Warriors, which is a huge card, obviously, in this matchup and in most matchups, any aggro matchup, honestly. And yeah, on the side of Jiesha, really no choice other than to go ahead and play out as MechWarp. We're going to play out two guys, though. And this is interesting because he's saying that you don't have a way to kill both of these guys. So we're probably going to see Xichen kill off this Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Actually, he has a choice to make, obviously, which one to kill. Because if he kills off the Mech Warper, he takes 6 damage the following turn. But maybe his opponent can't play Shredder. And maybe he can kind of see through the play of Jiesha. And maybe he can see that potentially Jiesha has a Shredder in hand. So yeah, that would be this is kind of a tough turn, but I mean, considering you have the Acolyte in hand, I think it's pretty simple. I think you just kill the Zap-O-Matic, and if your opponent has Shredder, then so be it. He could have Spider Tank anyway. You never know. So yeah, just play that out. Don't want to be taking too much damage. That's basically the way you lose this matchup, is you play, or you take too much damage early on. I think we're probably going to see an Armor Smith. Well, maybe not Armor Smith because the Shredder trades too well into it. You might just see an Acolyte hit the probably just see the Acolyte hit the Mech Warper, and then Battle Rage, and then if he doesn't pick anything up, then just Armor. The Armor Smith can be useful. It's more useful later, even though you kind of heal for 5 essentially. If you play it right now, it's much more useful later to get like huge amounts of armor. You know, in conjunction with something like like patrons. He is gonna play out the Armor Smith in the end anyway, though. I guess he just wanted to draw in the second Aurochs, which I assume he plays. Otherwise, that play is kind of bizarre. So yeah, pretty straightforward play from Jiesha. Gonna kill off the Armor Smith. Gonna kill off the Acolyte, and gonna go ahead and play out this Fellraver, which conveniently for Xichen, he now has a way to deal with it. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to use. Well, he could use Whirlwind, I suppose. Okay, well that's gets rid of the rag. It's pretty good. I didn't see the other card, but yeah, gonna go ahead and Whirlwind, kill off this Mech Warp, which is pretty big deal. Okay, Lava Burst gone, second Fellraver gone. That's good, and yeah, pretty much normal cards. Gonna go ahead and also enrage that. That doesn't affect the execute at all. Fallen Hero doesn't really do anything with Shaman. No, it doesn't do anything. I'm going to clear that off. So he played 4 cards this turn, I believe. It was Acolyte, Whirlwind, Inner Rage, and the Execute. So that's 12 cards gone. Which means we could see a situation where the Shaman actually just runs out of cards. Maybe. How many has he drawn so far? I could do math on stream, but maybe I shouldn't. How many? He's on turn 5, which means he started with 3, and then he's drawn 5 more 8, so he's at 20. He actually has 10 cards left, so he should be okay. We do see the patron come into hand. And we might see that played. It's a little bit of a risk, though. Gonna go ahead and kill off this Fallen Hero, and we see in the hand of Jiesha that he has a way to deal with this with that Rock Biter. So I mean, you have to do it. You don't have enough damage. You don't have enough burst to start attacking face anyway. Picks up the Crocodile, pretty normal. And one of the problems with going with this is, like, if you're playing against Hunter, that's one thing. If you're playing against Face Hunter, that's one thing, because as long as you just diffuse your opponent's stuff, you're going to live. And it's typically just a lot of stuff, small stuff that just goes at your face. But against a Shaman, they have bigger minions, like the Dr. Boom and his opponent's hand. So sometimes you can't just get away with playing out patrons and, you know, kind of distracting your opponent into dealing with them. Because you might just run out of resources yourself, honestly. He only has 1 patron left, 1 Armor Smith left. He has a couple weapons, but in the hand, there's nothing really for him to do. He could go. He's thinking about playing this War Song, which feels like a mistake to me. I kind of want to see. Well, I guess what we could see is the Frothing plus Armor Smith plus Ghoul here, because the Ghoul can't be dealt with on board right now. And if one of your opponent's cards is some sort of removal that deals with the Ghoul, then that means that they don't have something big. Or if they do have something big like Dr. Boom, they can't play both at the same time. So that's nice. On this, so since we saw Jiesha just pick up this Power Mace, probably gonna see him use that to clear out this Ghoul and then crackle the Frothing. This Crocodile can't really kill anything, so probably just hit the face. Gonna hope he gets the Healing Totem here. Doesn't get the Healing Totem. And, yeah, unfortunately this Armor Smith can get through this Taunt Totem now, but on the side of Jiesha, he does have that Dr. Boom potentially. And this is kind of what I was talking about, right? If Xichen had kind of been a little bit more patient, he would have had the opportunity to play War Song plus Grim Patron plus Inner Rage right here, which would have been very, very nice. And something that Shaman just basically can't deal with if you make 4 patrons. But he was a little bit impatient and played out the 2 patrons in that scenario. And honestly, looks like he's gonna get punished pretty soon here. He can actually even actually here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. If he plays the Ghoul now, and Jiesha plays out his Dr. Boom, his Power Mace Death Rattle will go off before the Death Rattle of the Ghoul, which means that his Boombot will be buffed, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the Boombot is buffed. If I'm thinking about this correctly. Yeah, so we're gonna see, we're gonna science it. I'm pretty sure one of these Boombots is gonna get buffed beforehand. In any case, the Croclus is going to be able to kill this Armor Smith and get rid of it once and for all. Nope, just kidding. Oh no, it is buffed. Okay, it just happened really quickly. Alright, so yeah, it looks like the well, that's kind of a card. Do you go for it? It's really risky right now. I imagine you don't. You kind of just you just take this 10 damage and hope you get a better card next turn. You do have about 2 turns. You have 2 turns of getting smacked in the face before you have to do something about it. But you can't really afford to go War Song, Patron, Inner Rage, and you'd have to run the 5-2 into it anyway, and then you have to hope that one of the 1-1 or one of the bombs hits your remaining 3/3 specifically, and hit it for less than 3. So basically, you're looking at a 1 in 6 chance. I feel like you're more likely to draw into something more useful that can help you later than this 1 in 6 chance will work. And even if it does work, well, you'd probably have to hit the 1 in 12, I believe. Because otherwise the 3-1 doesn't matter and the Dr. Boom could just run into your 3-3. So I don't see this ever work. Even if this works out perfectly, you'd have to hit for 1. Yeah, and that's not it. So, yeah, that's his last Grim Patron, and he doesn't have any card draw. He doesn't have any way to damage his guys to get something like a Battle Rage off. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to go into the Warsong Commander, and that's probably going to be it. I don't see any way Xichen comes back in this game. I'm gonna go ahead and slam that. Doesn't really matter probably if he picks up an execute. Thorison's cute. Not gonna do much though. It's basically just a 5/5. It's for 6 mana, but he has nothing else to play anyway, so the mana doesn't matter. Not gonna discount anything at all. Probably just gonna trade this 6/3 into it. Go face with the rest. And this game is more or less locked up. This Noitron, actually pretty useful here. It's not going to spawn any patrons, especially since all the patrons are gone. Gotta say, Xichen definitely had a way to win this game, but he played it way too impatient. Did not need to play out both those patrons early on, and honestly, didn't need to play those patrons in that last turn. He could have waited at least 1 more turn, and looks like he's going to get punished for it. Likely going to see this. Well, he might not play this Whirling Zaphomatic. He has lethal on board. I guess you could see Execute or something coming from Xichen the next turn. The one thing you can maybe lose to is Brawl into some sort of crazy following after that. But, yeah, he needs to top deck it right now. That's not going to be it. And Xichen is going to fall. Our Pro Qualifier is going to be out of here. Jiesha is actually out of the Pro Qualifier, so there's that. But, yeah, Jiesha is going to win it. He's going to survive his Shaman, which will put him in great shape for the finals, honestly, because he doesn't have to use Shaman. But congratulations to Jiesha. He is into the finals to face either Love or, as far as class quality, they both brought 3 strong classes on each side. So no inherent advantage there. No one bringing Shaman to name one class that could be weak. Rogue, another class that a little bit weak potentially. The matchups are a little bit kind of crazy, especially because well, I guess there's only there's several types of mages. It's probably going to be more aggressive mages. A couple types of Warlock, and well, there's more than that, but typically people play Handlock or Zoo these days, or variants thereof. Not this case though. I guess we can just stop talking about the overall matchups and get into this particular matchup. We have what looks to be a Malagos. Yeah, okay, with that Blackwing Corruptor coming in hand, looks like it's going to be a Malagos Warlock on the side of Love, whereas we have Face Hunter coming from Undead. Love obviously unable to Mortal Coil that on turn 1, so he goes ahead and passes. We have, luckily for Love, I hear power on turn 2 from Undead, and going to be able to clear that out. Gonna also clear out this Worgen Infiltrator. Might tap here. Doesn't tap. Looks like he has a turn 4 into 5 into 6 play, so it looks like he's not gonna go with it. He even has a Nefarian hand. Looks like this is going to be some sort of a dragon warlock with potentially Malagos in it. I imagine there's Malagos in it because of that big game, or not the big game hunter, the Thorson. So he was thinking of going with the Implosion, thought better of it because of the possibility of Knife Juggler Unleashed, which would really blow him out right here without any AoE. So maybe he loves stream sniping, I don't know. But definitely was able to play around that and get a similar sized board, 4-2 versus a bunch of 1-1s anyway. So yeah, basically it's bad either way, right? If you get 2 imps, then your board isn't very big. If you get a big board, then maybe you get blown out by that Knife Juggler Unleash. So yeah, in any case, we have Love with a kind of an interesting decision right here. He could do one of 2 things. Or one of several things actually. I guess he's gonna trade in his BGH, and then probably set up this trap. Yeah, once again, oh, it's misdirection. Interesting. Hits the face, but hitting for 1. He's gonna be happy about that, considering how this went. So yeah, very interesting sequence there. He could have actually just dark bombed. And no. Actually, that was ended up being correct. It feels bad to trade a 4-2 into a 2-2, but ended up being okay because he was able to set off that trap with just his 1-1. No matter what it was. So bear trap might have been kind of bad, but I think he's okay with that. With that risk right there. And gonna be Knife Juggler Unleashed because there's nothing else really in the hand to do, and he wants to save that quick shot to be able to cycle it. Love, on the other hand, picks up a Twilight Guardian. So he has yeah, it looks like he's just gonna play that out and just kill the Knife Juggler manually rather than using the nice trade onto the, or with the Blackened Corruptor. It kind of feels bad to do this way, but what can you do? He does have the heal bot in hand. If Love can just hold on, he's in a good spot, but Hunter just draws into damage, into damage, into damage, into more damage, and Love really only has that heal bot, so yeah. I don't know what he's thinking about. He's thinking, what do I quick shot here? Like, no, yeah, you just quick shot the taunt. You're not gonna pick up an owl. Just don't worry about it. And even if you do pick an owl, you can use it later. So it looks like he's gonna go with this. I kind of wanted to see him hit the Wolf Fighter in. I mean, you kind of get wrecked by Shadow Flame, but that's about it. So is Love finally gonna crack, or not crack? He's just gonna give in and play his heal bot. No, he's not gonna play his heal bot yet. Interesting. So really playing with fire here. Obviously a kill command top deck would be lethal, but he's playing the odds. Just wants to get the biggest board onto the field. Ooh, Huffer would be lethal as well. And it is a Huffer. Always Huffer. Never lucky, Baby Rage. And Undead is going to take it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 1-0. The lead goes to Undead, and Love cannot be happy about that one. Oh my goodness. I need to take a drink after that one. I'm gonna take another drink actually, because my voice is tired. Okay. Alright, I'm actually fired up after that game. that top deck Animal Companion into Huffer. Pretty good. You can't say that Love's Greed kind of punished him there really, because if he had gone the opposite direction and played the heal bot and taken more damage because of it, then he might have lost in the long run because his board wasn't big enough. So in any case, we're gonna see the Mech Mage versus the Malagos Warlock here, and I imagine this is going to be a little bit better matchup for the Malilog, just because you're not going to take damage quite as fast, and you can kind of set up a lot of your stuff, and you do have a lot of that removal. He does have the Immortal for this situation. Kind of played this turn a little bit fast. You might be facing down a Spider Tank here. Might have been okay to owl that, but I guess, I mean, there might be better things to owl later. Unseeable Portal, let's see what he gets. Hungry Crab, not going to be too useful. Might as well play right here. You're not going to see any Murlocs on the side of Love. I think I would like to see the Snow Chugga there, just to get some, you know, some more damage onto the field, some more pressure onto the field. You could have had that and then gone into a Shredder here, which would have been amazing. In any case, he has the option of going either Yeti or well, okay, he can reversing switch, which is pretty nice, but he also knows that he can reversing switch something like a Drake later on. He also doesn't know what kind of potential dragons are in the deck of Love. Maybe he can reversing switch, you know, a Twilight Guardian. So it looks like he's gonna go and go ahead and save that reversing switch, get some nice power onto this board, and yeah, we're gonna see this implosion. How many hits? 4 hits for 4. So Undead's kind of shaking his head, but you know, turnabout is fair play. Is that what the saying is? Yeah, Love was pretty unfortunate last game. Gets the 4 roll this game. Hearthstone's a fair and balanced game, guys. Confirmed right here. So for Undead, do you Smorg it or do you kill off this endgame? You only reduce the power by 1 if you do that. Could get Mortal Coil. We've already seen one Mortal Coil. On the side of Love, he kind of wants him to go face because he's still at 25 and he can pretty cleanly kill off this Shredder. So I think he's fine with the face attack here. Picks up that Antique Hillbot, makes Love feel a lot safer going forward. So yeah, I imagine we're just going to see the Blackwing Corruptor onto the Shredder. I don't know why he needed to attack first, but okay, I guess. What is that, a guy that used... Is that a Garrison Commander? Is that what that thing is called? It lets you hero power twice. 2-3 is not very good for Love. He wanted to see a 3-2 so he can kind of clear it off. In any case, he's going to just go ahead and clear off this Snow Chugga. Not too afraid of 2 hero powers. If his opponent hero powers twice right here, then it's very good for Love. So he's actually fine with that. So... yeah, gonna see a Frostbolt and then probably a Chugga. I don't see any reason why not. But yeah, in any case, Love has taken almost complete control of this game. He has bigger minions coming out from now on, and like that guy. Yeah, he's not, his life total isn't in any trouble. He has a bigger board. Everything's going good for Love right now. I'm gonna go ahead and Implosion. He should really attack a minion first. It's actually just a straight up mistake. He's also tapping last, so yeah. He actually has Nexus Champion Sarah in this deck. This is a really interesting list. Very interesting, Mr. Love. But Indicate's gonna have a ping. We do see Dr. Boom come into the hand of Undead, so that's a nice draw, but unfortunately he's going to get Dr. Boom first, so not always the best situation. Probably just going to trade all 5 of these imps and play Dr. Boom. And typically the first Dr. Boom does better than the second Dr. Boom, unfortunately, for Undead. I don't know why we're whining again. Back to the Future. Okay, sure. Alright, Dr. Boom. Wait, what? One more time, guys. Triple replay right here. Don't know why that's happening. I have honestly no idea. But yeah, Dr. Boom finally comes in the field. I guess he's that important that you have to triple rewind it for that to happen. Or to see that. Top deck BGH? Nope, but we do see that Healbot. He could Healbot and just hit face. He can also just... he has a lot of options here. I mean, basically, what he just wants... He should just be worried about not dying, honestly. Because he's in such a huge, like a ridiculously huge lead that all he has to do is not die. Sap! That's an interesting card. That could be useful later. But yeah, it looks like he's just gonna trade everything off. Gonna give his opponent some health in the meantime, but whatever. Gonna see if this Boombot hits his Boombot. Hits his Boombot for more, so that's kind of nice. And then trades Boombots, or trades Dr. Booms, excuse me. But yeah, basically Love just has to not die and he wins. Unless his opponent had Antonidas Stealth, which would be a major problem. But he does have healing for that, so still wouldn't die to even that. In any case, Undead doesn't have that option. He does have the Antonitis. He could Antonitis maybe Frostbolt or something, or maybe Antonitis double spare part. Maybe go for the reversing switch, and then no, but then he makes it crappy because it just dies to BGH. So he's gonna Frostbolt this, but I don't see how this ever wins in the game, honestly. Looks like Love is hovering over Interfering, but that's gonna make him overdraw. I don't think he needs to do this. I mean, he can. I mean, it's a big guy. He's gonna end up overdrawing. Now he realizes it. I figured that he knew that was going to happen, and he just did it anyway. He's like, whatever, 8's the biggest guy on my side. But I guess he didn't realize it. He's gonna overdraw. It's not gonna really matter. He has 2 heal balls in hand. Those are 2 of the more important cards in his deck right now. Just because that's really the only way he's ever going to lose is if his opponent somehow managed to find a way to burn him down. 5/8 unfortunately dies to 8/8. He's actually gonna heal bot now because he's just like, alright. He just realized that he's like, okay, this is the only way I'm ever gonna die. And without even seeing the second heal bot, Undead's going to go ahead and concede. So Love takes that game. A little bit of turnabout in that game from the last game. Got those nice implosions both times, 4 then 3. And yeah, so the Hunter on the side of Undead and the Warlock on the side of Love have graduated. They don't need to be played anymore. And we're going to see Warrior versus Hunter. Depending on, most variants of Warrior are very heavily favored. Like the only exception is mid-range versus control. So this is pretty huge that we see that it's mid-range on the side of Love. Actually keeps the high main in hand, which makes sense. And we see that it's control on the side of Undead. So this is very, very good for Love. If this was Grim Patient, he'd be in a lot of trouble. But goes ahead and takes a chance and keeps the high main, which is the bane of Control Warrior's existence. So this matchup is actually favored for the mid-range Hunter, and almost every single other matchup between Hunter and Warrior is favored for the Warrior. So good for Love, I suppose. What are we gonna see from Undead here? Are we gonna see him break this up? Looks like he is going to. Okay. And Love does have this Animal Companion, but no matter what Animal Companion comes out, it will be killed by the combination of the Axe and the Taskmaster. This is a decent bit of damage. He's going to get some extra damage in here. Ends up being the same amount of damage, actually, if you consider how much Misha would deal to Undead. But in any case, yeah, he's going to have to kill off this Leok. Going to use that Cruel Taskmaster. In response, probably just going to see the second Animal Companions already hovering over it. Leok is fine, Misha's fine, Huffer, and they're all fine actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, gonna go ahead and play that out. Gonna be Huffer, gonna get 4 damage to face, can clear off this. I wonder if he coins out this Creeper. Nope, just gonna get the high main out. Yeah, so Undead does have to deal with this. If he has an answer, he would deal with this right now, which allows Love to get this high main unthwarted and contested. Unfortunately for Undead, he doesn't even have a way to deal with it, so he just kind of just armors up a bunch. And Love is able to get a high main not only uncontested, but he actually has the board, which really sucks. And there's still no removal on the side of Undead. Oh, there's some removal. And decides instead to go ahead and play out this Sylvanas, which is going to get immediately owled, and now he's going to be very sad. There is, however, the brawl on the side of Undead, but Love plays around that basically as well as he can. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you don't really want to throw your high main into that. And you don't want to Hunter's Mark and throw your Hover into that. So it makes kind of sense. Makes a bit of sense. But in any case, Undead has a pretty good answer for this board with that Owl into Brawl. Basically the exact middle. Well, not the exact middle. Slightly good for Love. option one. There was the owl. I mean, as far as what, I mean, this is going to be, I think, game over probably. But as far as options for both players, it was like a 10 for the high main, like a 7 for the huffer, and then like a 3 for, I mean, from lowest one, like a 3 for the owl, and then like a -2 for the other owl. So it was on the high side. It was definitely above average, but yeah, it didn't really. I mean, it wasn't like ridiculous RNG. It wasn't the most ridiculous thing that you could possibly see happen. In any case, this is going to be game 9, so it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going to be exact lethal, and Love is going to take this game, and that's why this matchup is Mater and Hunter favored. Love very happy to see Control Warrior there, and even more happy to see Control Warrior because he has Druid remaining, not looking very good for Undead, and this is why you bring Patron Warrior instead of Control Warrior, guys. I don't know who spread that nasty rumor that Control Warrior is good and that Control Warrior is one of the best decks in the meta today. I think it was Monk. I think we're going to blame Monk for that one. He was talking about how, oh my god, Patron Warrior and Control Warrior are the 2 best decks right now. It's kind of crazy. It's like the first time that happened since Handlock and Zoo. No. The Control Warrior is not very good, guys. Don't trust the hype. Bring Patron, much safer. Always go Patron. Unless you know your opponent's going to be playing Patron, and you want to 3-0 them with, and you want to, or not 3 them, you want to target their Patron, you go Control Warrior, Handlock, and, I don't know, something else. But, yeah, don't believe the hype, guys. Control Warrior, not very good. In any case, Love with a pretty bad hand here, but, nothing for the Control Warrior to do anyway. Innervate makes it a bit better. He can go, turn 3, Ancient Allure, which should help him smooth out his curve. Obviously, turn 3, 5/5 is pretty good. Basically, since you're not losing any cards on the exchange, you're basically just playing out a turn 3 5/5. But yeah, for his sake, he wants to be drawing into essentially a 4-drop like a Shredder here. Ooh, well, he gets a Savage Combatant, so good enough. On the side of Xichen, BuSi. Sorry, that first part, well, I guess it's called, I mean, she is death in Japanese. Anyway, I'm getting confused. So he was actually wanting that to be a Dr. Boom so he could Cruel Task and then execute that, and his opponent didn't have any cards in hand, but he does have the ability to execute regardless. It's probably best that he does this instead of taking 5 damage every turn. And in any case, Love is going to be able to play the Savage Combatant, which can get answered by the Fire Warrocks in Undead's hand. And yes, I do see the Iron Juggernaut in his hand. I do see that. Don't worry, guys. I do see that card, which is so interesting. Sorry about the lag again. Hopefully we can get through this. We can make it through this, guys. Maybe we can't make it through this, guys. I'm not sure. Uh-oh. Alright, gonna have to refresh. Alright, so pretty standard stuff. Killed off the Savage Combatant. Love played out the Druid of the Claw. He probably doesn't want to Harrison that. Maybe he can get, like, maybe for instance, Undead, he decides to attack and then Armor and Shield Slam and then re-equip. And then he gets, and then Love gets 2 charges, but looks like it's not going to be the case. Anyway, he's just going to play that Harrison now, going to get that charge of the Fireworks off. This is not like Patron at all. Despite second charge is very vital for Patron, but for, Control Warrior, you would rather, when facing the Control Warrior, any class, I guess, who has Harrison Jones, you just kind of want to get the card. And you'd rather get this fight, but sometimes that's not really important. Especially in this case where, he had nothing else to do. We saw that even though Undead used the Shield Slam a turn prior, he actually does have another Shield Slam in his hand. So it looks like he top decked that. Not sure which one he used to kill it. Any case, we see the Iron Dragon come onto the field and put that burrowing mine into Love's deck. Love has to be living in fear of that for the rest of the game. In any case, Love reaching for this Wrath. It might be a Wrath Keeper play to put a lot of pressure on his opponent, but that would be really bad considering that his opponent has a Sylvanas in hand. But I guess he figures that if the Sylvanas comes, he can just kind of trade both guys in anyway or something like that. It looks like we're getting an instant replay of this as well, unfortunately. I don't know why this is happening. Don't blame me. Okay, instant replay number 4. Here we go. Don't you really hates me. Anyway, we finally got it in. Didn't get to see the attack. Too many instant replays. So yeah, we're not... I mean, Undead knows that there's no more innervates on the side of Love. So I personally would have liked to see Sylvanas there. Kind of see Sylvanas trade 2 for 1 in that instance. Oh, he doesn't really necessarily need to be going for this particular play. Although I guess it makes sense. It's mana efficient. Maybe he can draw some cards and get some stuff done. But it's kind of weak, honestly. Well, he gets to just charge his guy in. I mean, he could have just used his Shield Maiden, Shield Slam as well. I guess either way is fine. And Love trying to deny the card draw as much as possible. Going to go ahead and swipe that, but that, I mean, despite the swipe, Undead does have a lot of cards in hand regardless. So, I mean, he's looking at 6 cards in hand. There's going to be a lot of options to work with. However, Love is staring down lethal. Not Love, sorry. Undead is staring down lethal. So he's got to do something right now. Gonna play the Doctor Boom. Does he not realize that he's gonna die? These boom bots better kill everything. That was unusual. Okay, he's just dead then. He needs to coin armor. Is he dead even with coin armor? Yes, he is. So that was bizarre. Why did he do that? Don't put that much faith in. He's just like sad. What were you expecting? They're boom bots. They go where they want to go. Oh my god, okay, that's gonna be a game. That was really bizarre. He even had a shield. He had a Shield Maiden and a Sylvanas in hand, unused. Okay, I guess that's going to be it. Not only did he bring Control War, he doesn't know how to use Control War. Well, that's open qualifier for you. He qualified for this tournament and he beat a guy who played wonky decks in the first round. But his story ends here. Love takes him out, and the better player, in my opinion, and probably most people's opinions, moves on. Love, the China champion, is going to go to the finals. Going to want to punch his ticket to the invitational, to the finals of this series as well. And congratulations to him. He is going to be facing off against, who was it against? Jiesha. He's going to be facing off against Jiesha. So, going to be a really good match. Make sure you guys don't miss it, and I'll see you guys then. What's up, guys? T2 here. I know you were probably expecting a final to be played at this time, or this point in the video. I know I was too when I was waiting for the stream to show that last night on Douyu TV. Unfortunately, one of the players apparently had an emergency and couldn't finish on stream, so they ended up finishing off stream. And it turns out that Jiesha won 3 games to 1. I went through their classes and I determined that their remaining classes were Rogue, Hunter, and Mage for Jiesha, and Shaman, Rogue, and Priest for Love. So Jiesha with the advantage there in those classes, in particular, Love having that Shaman remaining. And you never know, he might be actually weak with Priest, since Priest, the new archetype, the new Dragon archetype, is a relatively new one at that. So yeah, Jiesha definitely had the advantage going in with the classes, and he played very, very well throughout the tournament. So not too surprised to see that, despite Love being, the China champion. But in any case, congratulations to Jiesha. You will see him in the finals of the Celestial Invitational Series. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. And if you like my casting, you can click like, and you can subscribe, and you can comment below. So thank you very much.